In this particular video, we're going to be talking about solving equations with rational numbers, and we're going to talk about two different types of equations, simple equations and multi-step equations. A simple equation usually just involves us isolating a variable, as we can see in these two examples, whereas a multi-step equation is going to involve probably all three of our steps. Let's have a look at this one. 1/3 n is equal to 4. In order to isolate n here, the only thing that's in our way is the 1/3, so we're going to use inverse operations, and we're going to multiply both sides by 3 over 1. That's going to cancel the 1/3, which is a division of 1 by 3, so we multiply by 3 over 1. Cancel, 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 cancel. N is equal to 12, so the value of n is equal to 12, and we could check that by substituting the value back in. 1/3 of 12 is equal to 4, and that is true. 4 is equal to 4. All right, so that's very simple isolating. It's a simple equation. We look at the one on the right, y plus 0.4 is equal to 2. The only thing standing in our way of having y by itself is 0.4. So let's isolate y by subtracting 0.4 from both sides. That's going to get rid of 0.4, and now we have y is equal to 1.6. And that's another simple equation because in one step, we've gotten the result. Now, simple could mean 2 steps or 3 steps, but they're all fairly simple. We don't have to do a whole lot. Now, when we're dealing with rational numbers, which could be fractions or decimals, right? Remember from our first chapter this year, rational numbers are any number that can be written as a fraction. So up until now, we've kind of just used integer coefficients, right? 2n plus 1 is equal to 10 or something like that, where the coefficient is 2. But here we see the coefficient is 1/3, and here we have a 0.4 as the constant, meaning a term and not attached to a variable. When we have multi-step equations, we sometimes have to use all three of our basic steps, combining, consolidating, and isolating, in order to obtain the value of the variable by itself. So we look at this example here, 2/3 y minus 1/2 is equal to 5/3. Let me make it a little larger. So for us, we look to combine, and unfortunately we cannot do that. We see this term has a variable, this one does not, and this is on the other side, so nothing to combine. So, okay, that's fine. I now want to consolidate, which means moving the terms around. And so if I add 1/2 to both sides, unfortunately what happens is that I have 5/3 plus 1/2, and these are incompatible. They have different denominators. So in order to remedy that, I'm going to backtrack a little, and I'm going to make it easy on myself and actually make all of these terms have the same denominator, so that no matter how I use them, whether it be addition or subtraction where it needs to be, or multiplying and dividing where it does not need to be the same denominator, regardless, I can still work with them pretty easily. So I want to find the lowest common denominator here, and that's going to be the number 6. So I'm going to change each of these fractions one by one so that they have a denominator of 6. My first fraction, I'm going to multiply by 2/2 because 2 times 3 is 6. My second fraction, I multiply by 3/3. And my third fraction, I multiply again by 2/2. So going on from there, I can get 4/6y minus 3/6 is equal to 10/6. And now, if I wanted to add or subtract, I absolutely can. So in order to consolidate, I'm going to add 3/6 to both sides. So I have 4/6y is equal to 13/6. Now to isolate y, I've done my consolidation, and I'm going to use a different color to show isolation. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 6/4, which is going to be canceling the 4/6. So y is equal to, well, these 6's cancel as well. So y is equal to 13/4, and that's going to be our solution. All right, so these are the two different types of rational number equations that we're going to be focusing on. Simple equations, where we don't have to do much, and then multi-step equations, where we do have to do more than we normally do. So that's going to be our focus for tomorrow and for the next couple of lessons. If you have any questions, send me an email, and make sure, as always, you have some notes on this.